Alright everyone, this is Bob for a new episode of Oranda Power. And today I want to talk about what you should look for when getting fish with your goldfish. So basically, for the past year now, my entire Oranda Power channel have been focused on that specific subject. I have done quite a lot of research and also quite a lot of experience and experimentation rather to discover what are the good advice I could give for someone to do something similar to what I am doing. So the first, the way I'm going to construct this video is that I'm going to give several advice starting from the most obvious advice to the more kind of a long-term problem you might have and the way you want to deal with them. So the first few advice will be much more on regard on water parameter and just general thing you want to look at when speaking on the fish physically, and then I'm going to talk more about the behaviors that you should be looking for when getting fish with goldfish. But the main thing we want to explore as a first advice is the fact that a lot of people, not only on YouTube but and not only on the internet but the fish community altogether, a lot of people will say that there shouldn't be any fish kept with goldfish because goldfish can only be kept with other goldfish or ultimately maybe with some snails. Well, I'm sorry, but my aquarium is kind of telling you otherwise. But, well, actually the first advice I'm going to do to tell you is that you are going to have to build yourself up to actually understand how to keep goldfish with other fish, but you also will have to face the criticism of some fish keepers that will not understand or want to understand your future project, which is to keep other fish with goldfish. With that said, if you actually want to keep other fish with goldfish, this video will explain to you everything about it. So my first advice is that even though I think the words of those believer that goldfish should only be kept with other goldfish is extreme, there is kind of a part of truth in it. In the same way that goldfish and plant is difficult, goldfish and other fish is also something difficult to achieve. But I have come to the conclusion that this is because of a lot of factors, but if you do your research and experimentation very well, you can achieve it. So the first thing you want to do is a lot of research. Find all the fish that can actually live or adapt to the goldfish. So the first thing you want to decide when and if you want to keep other fish with goldfish is which fish can live in the same water parameters as the goldfish. So goldfish, they pretty much prefer neutral to 7.5 of pH, and they also prefer cold to subtropical water. My aquarium is in the low 70s most of the year, maybe a bit lower than that during winter, but the water doesn't really fluctuate that much. But basically you don't want to put tropical fish with goldfish. At least you want to put the goldfish into tropical water and kind of reduce the lifespan of the goldfish. But ideally you want to have your temperature not exceeding 75 Fahrenheit, which is, I believe, 24 Celsius. So to have the best result and to have the bigger range of fish as possible, you want to try to have your temperature around 78 to 73 Fahrenheit, which is I believe like 20 to 23 Celsius, something like that, or 24 Celsius. Really, you know, those range, which is pretty much your room temperature. At least you live in Antarctica or in really hotter region of the world, then there is some exception. But yeah, basically you want to keep all your fish in those temperature, which reduce quite a lot the number of fish you can keep successfully with goldfish, but fear not, because there is still a big selection. The other thing you want to consider is the goldfish themselves. First of all, goldfish. They get big, they have big mouth, they are curious fish, and they are clumsy as well. And some of the goldfish have some really weird modification and body part to them, reducing their speed or their field of vision, or even their agility and all. So my two goldfish are pretty agile when we compare them to other species of fancy goldfish. So I have an advantage and a disadvantage to that. The first thing being that my goldfish aren't that much fragile, but the disadvantage to that is that it gives them more speed and more time reaction to try to eat other fish. Because yes, you want to assume that your goldfish is like the really true, like, oh, goldfish should only be with other goldfish. You want to assume that the goldfish is going to try to eat your fish. So you want to make sure that your fish is, first of all, fast enough to escape from a hungry goldfish. This is why I have danios, this is why I have barbs, this is why I have fish that can actually outrun a goldfish if the goldfish actually want to eat them. I mean, there is no way that a goldfish is going to, even at full speed, is going to be able to eat any of those danios. At the very least, it will be hard for the goldfish. But if you keep fish like fancy guppies or fish with really long fins, you might run into problems. The other main thing you want to consider is, does the fish I put with a goldfish is actually really aggressive and going to mess up with the goldfish? Because in a way, the goldfish can be a danger for smaller fish, but in another way, other fish can be a danger for your goldfish. So you want to do a lot of research about if the fish you put with your goldfish is actually a fin nipper, if he's really an aggressive fish. So I don't recommend putting big cichlids with goldfish. This could be really dangerous for your goldfish. But you also want to keep fish that can escape your goldfish. Another thing is size. You actually want as much as possible to put some fish that won't fit in the mouth of your goldfish. This will help you quite a lot. I mean, my gold barbs are still small, my checkered barb are still small, but they don't fit in the mouth of the goldfish, which reduce quite a lot the capacity of the goldfish to try to eat them. And actually all the fish in my aquarium respond to all the thing said previously, in which they are fast, in which they can live in the same temperature, which is room temperature. And the proof of that is that both the gold barbs, the checkered barbs, and the danios are actually reproducing in this aquarium. But yeah, you want to have fish that are fast and that can and you want to try to have them bigger than the mouth of your full-grown goldfish. A good example of a fish that could fit all those characteristics is dojo loach. Dojo loach are so big that the goldfish will never try to eat it. I couldn't see a goldfish eat a dojo loach. It would be impossible. So the dojo loach is really safe and non-aggressive either. Another thing you want to consider is that if you're keeping small fish with your goldfish, you want them to be smart. And this is where I believe barbs are much more adept to the danios, because you pretty much want a fish that will be able to adapt to the goldfish, that won't be afraid to actually hide from your goldfish. And the constitution of your decoration in your aquarium will be fairly important in that regard. For example, in my aquarium, I have set up the entire aquascape to provide a lot of space for my goldfish to swim, especially in the front area where they prefer to swim naturally. But there is a lot of cave and decoration and also some plants where the small fish can actually hide quite easily from the goldfish without the goldfish being capable of eating the small fish. You don't want to put too much decoration in your aquarium though, because you still want a big open swimming space for all the fish to go. But you definitely want some place where the goldfish won't be able to follow the other small fish. Don't try to nip at him, I see you there. Another key thing for keeping your other fish with your goldfish is adaptation. You want your fish to be able to adapt to the goldfish, and this is how the danios have actually managed to survive that long. So I won't gonna lie here by saying that I have lost a few danios in the past few months. Not recently, but especially in the early beginning when I got the danios with the goldfish, I have lost several danios, and I have actually found one of the danios in the mouth of Ghost, which is this beautiful goldfish right here. So I'm not saying goldfish won't try to or even succeed eating your fish, but your fish have to adapt to your goldfish. They have to learn that goldfish might equal danger. So you definitely want fish that are smart, and this is where barbs, once again, are really a good choice to put with your goldfish, because most of the barbs are, first of all, good with the same water temperature of your goldfish, but they are also big enough in a lot of cases, and also they can outsmart pretty much your goldfish and also other species of fish. So compared to the danios, the barbs have completely succeed in this regard. Another thing is you want some hardy fish. This will help you quite a lot, because it's not a secret to anyone that goldfish are messy eaters, and they take they just can mess a lot with the water, especially if you don't have a lot of filtration. I have plenty of filtration. I have this sponge filter that I'm going to replug after the end of this video. I have a hanging back filter, but I also have quite a lot of plants, and I'm actually going to remove the plastic plants to add even more plants. So I have quite a lot of filtration, and it is fairly easy to see that the water is clear, but I also make sure by testing the water that I'm always on top of ammonia, nitrate, and nitrate by doing several water change. So you want fish that are able to deal with spike of, well, you're not supposed to have spike of ammonia, but if your water is crap because of your goldfish, you at least want fish that will be able to survive to those conditions. So and also, as previously said, you also want fish that are going to thrive in the same condition as your goldfish. And most of Asian fish and most of subtropical fish are going to enter this category of fish. So you have a lot of barbs, you have a lot of tetras, you have danios, you have a lot of bottom dwellers as well, like loaches and corridoras, that are going to be good choices for potential tank mate for your goldfish, because all of those fish can survive into the same water. So you want fish that are really adaptable concerning water condition as well as personality. One of the last but not least advice I want to give to you is you want some fish that are aggressive feeders. Fact is, if you have a picky eater, with goldfish, chances are the picky eater is not going to do well in the long run, because goldfish are aggressive eaters. Goldfish will compete for their food. They will dominate most of the food source. No matter if you feed them at top or at the bottom, they will always find their way to eat as much food as possible. So you want fish to be able to compete. And this is where danios don't succeed as well as barbs. Barbs surprisingly are an amazing choice for your goldfish in the way that they are able to feed well on the top of the water, feed well on the bottom of the water. They're going to actually eat some of the plants. Sorry, not the plants, but the veggies you might want to feed your goldfish. And they are basically able to fight for their food as well. So this is why I've learned to love quite a lot barbs, simply because they are one of the greatest choice you can have for your goldfish, especially compared to the danios, because danios are primarily top feeders. So if you constantly only feed sinking pellets, you might want to consider something else. But otherwise, due to their fast speed and their way they have actually learned to adapt and escape from the goldfish, they are still a good choice. So overall, you really want some hardy fish that are inexpensive, because as I have explained with the plants, you have to deal with the fact that you might lose the fish you put with your goldfish. But with a lot of research, a lot of experimentation, and sometimes with trial and errors, you will eventually be able to pick up some good fish to put with your goldfish. A last advice I have to give though is that all fish are different. So basically, I might have a lot of success with keeping other fish with goldfish, but it won't always be the case for everyone. I mean, right now I have a lot of success, but maybe in like 2 weeks from now, all the aquarium will be turning into a not a junkyard, but a graveyard with a lot of skeletons. Ooh. Because yeah, basically fish are living animals. They have personalities, and they are on Earth since quite a lot of time. So they have learned to adapt quite a lot to different conditions, which means they are going to adapt into a life in your aquarium. But yeah, basically, if you're willing to keep other fish with goldfish, I strongly advise you to do it. Because basically, goldfish are not different from any other species of fish, and keeping other fish with goldfish is pretty much the same set of challenge than keeping other fish with angelfish. In the way that, yes, from time to time, angelfish are going to eat other fish. Yes, angelfish can be aggressive, but does angelfish are living in a species-only aquarium? Not at all. They are in community aquarium, and your cold water slash subtropical water community aquarium can feature goldfish. I strongly believe in that, and I don't even have to believe in it anymore. I'm proving it right now. So I really hope this video have helped you quite a lot, and I hope you have learned something today. If you have more advice, please let me know in the comment section. Let me know also if you have some experience with other fish, with goldfish, and what should be my could it work videos in the could it work playlist for a next video. So yeah, as my battery is running down, and as I don't really have anything more to say, I'm going to say leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all real soon for the next one. Bye!